everyone, I am here to do a book and movie review on the Silver Linings Playbook by Matthew Quick. Now I'm going to leave links at the bottom in case you just want to watch the book review or in case you just want to watch the movie review. If you want to watch both, just keep watching. Now before I begin, I just want to say that there probably will be spoilers. Just letting you guys know, I'm throwing it out there that there will be spoilers because I just have a lot to say. And yeah, if you haven't read the book or seen the movie, I don't know if you should watch this. But yeah, enter and watch at your own risk. And let's begin. We're going to begin with the book. Now, the Silver Linings Playbook was by Matthew Quick. And guys, I love this book. It is actually, I think, one of my favorite books I've ever read, honestly. And I'm not surprised by it. I was going into it somewhat skeptical because I just didn't know too much about it. I knew there was a movie, but I didn't know much about the book. And I'm very glad I read it, and I just loved it so much. It is about a guy named Pat, which is Bradley Cooper. And he's not mentally ill. Maybe, I guess he is kind of. He's been in a mental institution for a while now, and he comes home and he goes and he lives with his mom and dad, and it is his God-given mission. He thinks like his life is going to be a movie. If he does everything right, he will be with his ex-wife or wife that he's taken a break from, Nikki, and he is becoming fit, he is working out, he's becoming a better person, he's doing all these things to ensure that he gets his silver lining to get, the happy ending to his story. Along the way, when he reconnects with his old friends, he meets Tiffany, who is Jennifer Lawrence, and she is another person who's kind of in the same boat. She's been in and out, or she's been with problems. Her husband has died, and she's dealing with that, and they become friends, and it's about their journey through that. And the book is amazing. Amazing, amazing book. The character development in this book is the best. I'm going to put it down now because I get sick of holding books when I'm doing reviews. I loved Pat. Like, Pat was a great character. I think that I loved reading about his character progression throughout the book. I thought it was amazing. And reading about Tiffany, too. How she was a very, very she had a very hard edge around her. And knowing that she dealt with so many things. They both dealt with so many things. And seeing them overcome it and, eventually find each other. It was just great. The book, I think, really touches with a lot, I wouldn't say, like, mental illnesses. I don't think Pat is, like, super mental illness, I guess, if that's the right way to say it. Sorry if that sounds awful. I do not mean it that way at all. He's just trying to overcome some things, and I love the relationship between him and his parents, how he was constantly reaching out to his dad, and his dad was so kind of, you wanted to see more from his dad, to be like, interact with Pat, interact with him. And we saw some of the books, and it was just great. And I loved the football in it. I am not a football girl, honestly. I don't really keep up with it. I mean, I'll watch it occasionally with friends or my husband and stuff like that, but I'm just not football, yay. I loved reading about the Eagles, the Philadelphia Eagles, and how they tied into this because Pat's dad loved the Eagles, and there was just he always wore a jersey, and it was just a great element to the book. I loved Pat's brothers, Pat's dad, Pat's mom, Tiffany, Veronica, Ronnie. I just can name so many of them because I really loved seeing the character development. And the whole book will keep you guessing, I will say. Pat is blocking something from his memory of why he cannot see his ex-wife, and everyone knows it but him, and including you. You don't know it either. And the whole book, I was like, what has he done? Like, what is going on that he can't contact his ex-wife, that he can't remember it? And it was just, I was like, I don't know what this is. Pat also had like a memory trigger. I've read in a lot of books, or something that triggers the memory or something that stirs it up. And his was a Kenny G song, which is actually their wedding song. Sorry, I feel like I'm going all over the place with this review. I'm trying to make both of them short and sweet. Every time he heard a Kenny G saxophone song, he would just or a Kenny G song, it would just be awful for him. He would kind of go through the motions, and he would just get kind of crazy and get physical and get violent. And it's tough reading that, but I think it's a good thing to read it so you can be put in the shoes of like people that have to deal with that. Speaking as my brother-in-law, he has a mental illness, and he's not as violent as Pat is, but it is very, very tough for the family to deal with, and it's just emotional, and you struggle, and you can read the struggles in this book, and I think it really just portrays that amazingly, and it's just, I think it brings a whole new dynamic to a book. And I loved reading about Pat and Tiffany. I'm not going to tell you too much about them because I don't want to spoil the book too much for you. I recommend this book to you. I think it's an amazing book. It will open your eyes to, you know, mental illnesses and reading about the struggles that took place with it and just amazingness that this book was. I'm going to give it a 5 out of 5 because it is one of my favorites. I really, truly enjoy this book. I highly recommend you go pick it up. Now, on to the movie. The movie, oh, I'm gonna have a lot to say, and I'm gonna apologize in advance right now, because what I may say, a lot of people probably will not agree with, and I want to say what I feel, but I don't want to be I don't want to be harassed and stuff in the comments. I just want to put it out there that these are my opinions. If you have different ones, that is totally okay with me. That's how the world works. Me and you, we're totally different, and I accept that, and I hope you accept that as well. Like I said, these are my opinions, and these are just my thoughts, so don't feel like what I say is the total deciding factor for you. I want you to go out there and make your own decisions, make your own all that kind of stuff. But yeah, let's talk about the movie. I watched the movie literally 2 days after I finished the book. I like to do that because I like to keep the book very fresh in my mind. Even with other books that I've read that come out in movies, I reread them so I can, you know, get a sense, get a feel, make sure, you know, I'm 100% on the book. Now, I'm not going into the movie thinking they better do everything right in this movie that's from the book or I'm going to walk out. No, I'm not like that. I understand that things need to change. I understand that with movies are totally different from books because you have 2 hours to tell it and scenes, and it's not books, you know. With the book, you are put in Pat's mind. Movie, it's, you know, different. You sometimes cannot do that. So, that being said, I liked the movie. I didn't love it. I was somewhat disappointed with it. I'm not going to lie to you about that. There were just a lot of deciding factors for me about it. And I even wrote them down because I didn't want to, just be like, no to this movie. You guys can't believe it. I'm not going to tell you that you guys need to read the book before you go see the movie because honestly, they changed so much in the movie from the book that I don't even know what book it's from sometimes. I was like, what? This is not the same book that I read. Like, I'm sure of it. So yeah, let's talk about the differences. I'm not going to list them all, I'm just going to list the key ones that I noticed. The first one I noticed was the relationship with the father. In the book, Pat tries so hard to be, not to be with his dad, but to just have conversation with his dad, to get to know his dad, to, you know, come into his dad's life again. And in the book, it's very rigid. The dad's rigid, and it's just a very kind of hard relationship. And you can just see it, you know, bloom and take blossom throughout the pages. And I get that the movie probably did not have time for it. But in the movie, it's completely reversed. Like, I'm talking about Robert De Niro is the dad, and he was trying to get Bradley Cooper, you know, to come back home. And he talked to him a lot. And I'm like, this didn't happen in the book. Like, and Bradley Cooper was even, Pat, I'm going to say Bradley Cooper so I can distinguish the movie. Bradley Cooper was kind of hesitant towards his dad. And I'm like, this is just a complete flip. Like, I don't get it. Because in the book, Pat tries so hard to talk to his dad. And in the movie, his dad tries so hard to talk to Pat. And I'm just like, what? So it was completely different. I enjoyed seeing that in a movie aspect. I did enjoy that, but from a book to movie adaptation alone, I did not enjoy that. Another huge difference for me was, I think about 10 minutes, maybe 15, very beginning of the movie, Pat tells you why he, you know, has mental illness, like what happened to him, and it's like bam, 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 he explains it, and I'm like, what? Only because it takes you, I want to say, more than half. Maybe I'm wrong. If I'm wrong, I'm sorry. It takes you a while to figure out what memory Pat has blocked, like why he is the way he is, or just why he was in that mental institution. It takes you a long time in the book. You're constantly wondering why. You have a broad sense of what happened, pretty much, but you don't know the details of it. In the book, in the movie, he just let it all out, like, this is what happened to me, and he was telling his therapist that, and I was like, whoa, wait a second. I thought that was a huge plot line in the book, is when he, you know, realizes what he did and all that kind of stuff, and with the movie, I felt like they just, like, threw it on out there at the beginning to let you guys know, and like I said, I understand that from a movie point of view. I totally get that you have to clarify and figure out with why he is the way he is in the movie. But I felt like they could have maybe switched it up a bit, would maybe put it in there a little bit later, maybe have a huge revelation moment like they did in the book. So I didn't enjoy that. I know. It's like so many things, guys, and I'm so sorry because I know a ton of people love this movie. It's Oscar nominated, for goodness sake. What's wrong with you, Heather? Why are you harping on this movie? It's Oscar nominated. I am not harping on it. I will talk more about why I love the movie later. So just bear with me. Bear with me. I don't want you to stop watching this video because I'm completely bashing the movie. I am not. Another huge difference I've noticed was in the movie they very clearly state that Pat was in the mental institution for 8 months, and he's aware of it and everybody's aware of it. But in the book, Pat really doesn't even know how long he was in the mental institution for. And this might be a spoiler, or I'm just letting you know, it might be a spoiler. He's constantly trying to figure it out and putting it together with stuff like that. And it's actually been I think 4 or more years he's been there, and he doesn't realize that. Everyone tries to keep it from him because they don't want to, break him, so to say. And I was like, wow, that's a really, really big difference. But like I said, with the movie, I understand that. The biggest problem I have with the movie, and I'm so sorry to say this, was the ending. Maybe not the exact ending, but the overall last 15 to 20 minutes. This might be a huge spoiler, so I'm just letting you know right now. In the ending, in the movie, we see that Pat's estranged wife has come to the dance competition, and Pat and Nikki talk, and I was just flabbergasted when that happened. I was like, what? Because in the book they don't even talk at all. Like I'm talking about not even a sentence between them. In the book, Pat sees Nikki from afar. He goes to talk to her, but he realizes when he sees her with her family that she is better off. Maybe it's his silver lining, he thought that's when the movie was supposed to end, like it all became real to him, and he didn't want to disturb her. And I really truly loved the way the book did that. I thought that was an amazing way the book did it. The movie, I felt like it was rushed and kind of like, hey, la la la, talk like that, and I'm like, this whole what? I just was blown away by that they changed that aspect of it. But I did not enjoy that at all. So you're probably like wanting to physically punch me right now, and I am sorry for that. I just want to let you guys know what I thought and my true opinion was. Kinda wish that I didn't even read the book before I saw the movie, because you definitely don't need to because they just changed so many huge aspects of it, I thought. Overall, let's look at this as a movie perspective. Let's take the book out of it completely. Silver Linings Playbook was an amazing movie if you do not account for the book at all. I thought the acting was great. Now, I thought Bradley Cooper was a great Pat. I felt compassion for Pat. I felt him. I felt his feelings. When you see a movie, you're like, oh, I feel for you, man. I felt for Pat, and I absolutely think Bradley Cooper did an amazing job. Jennifer Lawrence did an amazing job as Tiffany. Of course, I love Jennifer Lawrence. Hunger Games, hello. I thought she did a great job. I felt that she was rigid and hard, and you could see her blossom. I love that. And of course, Robert De Niro was great, and the mom was great. The actors were amazing. The movie was just a great movie. But what I'm saying here is I didn't think the book to movie adaptation was very well put together. I thought it was just messy and not cohesive, and they just changed a lot of aspects of it. And that's the number one reason why I didn't love Silver Linings Playbook. I just want you guys to know that I went into this movie wanting to devour it, wanting to love it, wanting to just be like, amazing. But I felt when I walked out, I felt like they just changed everything I read, and I was just like, wow, why did they do all that? I don't want to feel bad for what I say, but I know that this is a well-loved movie, and I know that it's probably going to sweep the Oscars. Golden Globes were won from this movie. So from a movie perspective, amazing movie. Definitely go see it. Do I think you need to read the book to go see it? No, because they've just changed so many aspects of it that I was just like, what? If you've seen the movie and you haven't read the book, go read it and maybe you'll figure out what I'm talking about. If you have read it and saw the movie, tell me, was it just me that noticed all these changes, or am I just crazy? But yeah, so I'm going to give the movie a 3 out of 5. It did not highly disappoint me, nor did it highly satisfy me. I felt like it was a good movie. I think I would have rated it higher, honestly, if I didn't read the book, because the only reason it is a 3 out of 5 is because they changed so many aspects of it. And yeah, so like I said, guys, this is my opinion, solely my opinion. Don't think that you will hate this movie because I didn't enjoy it that much. You may like it. So I just want to let you guys know that to not hate me in the comments. Please, please, please don't. I just want to give you guys a fair, honest review. Have a great rest of your week, and I will talk to you later. Bye.
Tell me what you see while you're on your journey.